Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Reeves Subaru, and today I'm feeling pretty good. I have this 2005 Ferrari F430 Spider that we're bringing to you. But before we just dive right into this car, let's talk a little bit about that famous brand known as Ferrari. Enzo Ferrari actually started the company back in 1939. It was known as Scuderia Ferrari. Scuderia being that Italian word for stable. It was a branch off from Alfa Romeo's racing program. 1940 was the first year that Ferrari built his very first car, but guess what? It was 1947 where Ferrari was recognized as an automobile manufacturer. Now, what's very fascinating is that Ferrari never wanted to build street cars. He just wanted to race, and he wanted to build race cars, but he knew that to fund his racing program, he needed the street cars. And there's been so many different iconic models, so many different wins, and just so many memorable moments. I mean, I could think back to when I was a young kid and I saw my first Ferrari 308 that Magnum PI drove in the TV series, Tom Selleck, or Miami Vice with the white Ferrari Testarossa. My favorite car of all time is a 1991 Ferrari F40, but you know what? This F430, it's 15 years old and it still looks just as good as when it rolled out of the doors of Maranello. Now, with this mid-engine car, it started with that 308. That's where that series, you could date it, the lineage back to the 308. Then the 328, then the 348, the Ferrari 355, the 360 Modena, and now the Ferrari F430. What's wonderful is, guess what? This has a naturally aspirated V8 that has a red line. Are you ready for this one? 8,500 glorious RPM. So let's go ahead, dive into this Ferrari F430 and see why it deserves that name. Right off the bat, the lines, when you see it, it looks like a Ferrari. The great news is that 2005 was actually the first year of the Ferrari F430. Love the headlight design, very small. You can see the LED daytime running lamp, the projector beam style headlight, flat black on the inside, very clean, follows the whole line of the whole fender. Now, as we drop down, massive air intakes to bring nice cool air in. What's awesome about the Ferrari F430, it's actually lighter than the 360, and it's producing more downforce than the Ferrari 360 that it replaces at no disadvantage. There's nothing taken away from this car over the 360. As we come across the front, I love that style of nose that they were using on the F430. You can see the flat silver, nice touch. You have that extra area in the center. And one of the things that's great about many of the Ferraris, they don't use big, huge wings to produce downforce. The downforce is not only from the shape of the car, but what's happening underneath. We go up onto the front. Remember, this has a trunk up front because the engine is in the middle. Love how low it slopes down. Let's talk about the badge for a second, that Ferrari badge. You got the tricolore, the Italian flag colors. That black stallion dates back to when a mother of a World War I pilot wanted to, bring some heritage, bring some acknowledgement for her son that died, that she wanted Ferrari to put the prancing horse on his cars, and he decided to do so. And it's just so iconic that when people see the black stallion, they know exactly what brand it is. Now, when we come around the bend, I love what's happening here. So we have a lot of air flowing in, functional venting, all metal screen, of course. I guess the one zonk for this particular Ferrari is not red. For me, if I was gonna have a Ferrari, it's gotta be red, but this blue is looking oh so good. Wheel setup. So we're looking at 19-inch wheel up front, 225 on the width, so not a very wide wheel and tire setup. 35 series sidewall, that's gonna give us very quick steering. You can see back in 2005, maximum braking capability came from just 4 piston calipers. I love the Ferrari script. There's our prancing horse. Of course, the rotors are cross-drilled, fully ventilated. This one has the optional badging on the side, that Scuderia badging. So much racing history from Formula One to the 24 Hours of Le Mans. It's just it means a lot to me, and to be able to even stand by this car is a special moment. Guess what? Yes, we're going to be driving it here on Rady's Rides. I like the touch of the F430 badge stamped into the side mirror. You can see how everything is to maximize airflow. We have the top down because I'm not even going to show you what this car looks like with the top up. It just doesn't do the car any justice. This car, being a Spider, was made to have that top down. You can see how the airflow comes back to the rear ducting. Pininfarina, so that is the company that actually designs the actual bodywork for Ferrari with this F430. You can see the massive air intakes here. That's going to bring air to that naturally aspirated V8. And since we're speaking on the V8, you could see it through the glass rear on the back portion of the car. Remember, this is a mid-engine, so what that means is that the engine is in between the rear axle and the front axle. 8,500 RPM redline. You can see the carbon fiber on the intakes. I love the beautiful red powder coating on the intake plenum. And when it comes to Ferrari, it's not just about the outside, it's about showing off the sexiness, the artwork of what that engine is. As we drop down, this is probably one of my favorite taillight design on the F430, very similar to what you would find on an Enzo Ferrari. I like the round, you come down, you got your quad exhaust, they're staggered, nice touch. We come across all open, let that heat rush out, you got the prancing horse, and then like I was telling you about, remember I was talking about downforce? Yes, you're gonna get some off the top, but look at these, this is massive. This rear diffuser, it looks like it's right off of a race car. All of these fins are gonna suck and generate vacuum to bring this car to the ground, but wide, low, and sexy. Let's go ahead and see if we could get a closer look of the V8 underneath the glass. All right, guys, we got the rear hatch popped. This is what it's all about when it comes to Ferrari, is the heart of the prancing horse. You're looking at a 4.3 liter V8 that has 5 valves per cylinder, 483 horsepower, 343 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated to a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. It's got an electronically controlled diff that was developed from Formula One technology. The Spider weighs around 3,200 pounds, 0 to 60 in about 3.9 seconds. Top speed, 196 miles per hour. And like I was telling, when it comes to downforce, over 200 pounds more downforce than the outgoing Ferrari 360. Let's talk a little bit about what we're looking at. You can see the carbon fiber on the inside of the fenders here, that massive intake plenum. And look at how, let me point out to you so you can see what you're looking at here. This is your intake, so the air is going to come in, then you have individual runners for each of the cylinders. 4 on one side, 4 on the other. Do the math, that's 8. That is a race car, man. Transaxle, which means the transmission is in the back, bolted to that glorious screaming V8, and this is what's going to give us the wonderful sound that people know of Ferrari. Let's go ahead. We talked about this. I'm sure you're ready to hear it. Let's fire up this naturally aspirated V8 and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're sitting inside this Ferrari F430. I know you're probably wondering price. Definitely give LD a call here at Reeves Subaru. This thing, when it was brand new, was around $175,000, $185,000. It's 15 years old, but I'm telling you, it's aged extremely well. Let's see what you're getting from Ferrari. Now, I love the blue with the tan interior, full leather everywhere, armrests, the whole door panel, the stitch work. That's all stitched by hand, guys. That's the wonderful thing. Now, yes, they're sewing machines, but people are actually running the leather. They cut it, and then they run it through. You do have a pocket, believe it or not, for Twinkies. So Enzo Ferrari was a very, very popular Twinkie eater. He gives you some Twinkies. Look at the badging, F1 World Champion. Can your car say that? That's what the heritage, the mystique, all of the leather here, the stitch work, absolutely beautiful. You have your round style AC vents, the F430 badge. If you're wondering, is this carbon fiber? Yes, it is. Radio controls, the hell with it. This is from 2005, so think about what we were using back then. If you're turning on a radio in this car, you need to have the keys taken away from you. Speaking of the keys, this is how you start it up. So you do have a key to put in the ignition. Nice Ferrari key. Let me show that off for you, nice and red. We're gonna put that in here. You're gonna turn it on, and then there's a nice bright engine start button. Hold that down, she comes to life. AC controls, no dual climate, none of that garbage, just simple controls that you could work through. Very easy to understand. You can see how there's nice carpet here. The center console, they only gave you as much as you need. Now you got a perfect area for your breath mints when you're picking up your hot date. You got your reverse button, your auto shift mode. I love this silver play here with the F1, because this is an F1 transmission. Controls for the side mirrors. You got a little tiny ashtray here. Nothing else you're gonna fit in there. Good old-fashioned e-brake. These are switches over here for the back glass and to put the top up and down. You got another cubby here. You can put some Tootsie Rolls, which is really nice. Speakers, but who cares? Take the speakers out. Seats. Blue piping, nice touch. There's the prancing horse. Love the Daytona style seats. Full power, very nice setup. And they're just bolted right to the floor. You can see the aluminum trim everywhere. You even have that brushed aluminum foot pedal for your passenger as they're crapping themselves as you're carving these corners, just like you're serving Thanksgiving Day turkey. I'm in a Ferrari. That's unbelievable to even say. Come on over to the business end. I want to show you behind the wheel of this prancing horse. All right, guys, business end. This car fits me to a T. I'm Italian, it's Italian. It's a match made in heaven. I want to take it home with me. Look at this steering wheel. This is a steering wheel right out of a race car. No Bluetooth, none of that garbage. You got your engine start-stop button. You have your magneto switch here. You can go into the different modes, race, sport, and everything else. Dash, as simple and as clear as it should be. You have your tachometer in the center. You have your LED there within the tach that tells you what mode you're in. You have a coolant, oil pressure, oil temperature, and you have your speedometer over on the right. Very clean to understand. And then the paddles, massive, easy to get to. They are attached to the steering column, which makes perfect sense as you're going through your favorite twisty turn or doing a track day. What else can I say? I'm ready. Are you freaking ready? Let's take this Ferrari F430 for a spin. All right, guys, we're inside the Ferrari F430. I'm telling you right now, this is a very, very special moment. I'm so glad to share with you. This is our second time in a Ferrari. We did the California a few months ago, but this F430 for me is where it's really at. To have a mid-engine Ferrari, naturally aspirated. Having the Spider is cool because it's gonna let us really hear the sound. I personally would go with the coupe and go red, but I'm not complaining right now for sure. But very, very smooth. And that's the thing is that you would think that this would be a bear to drive in town. It's not. What's interesting is that the footwell actually pushes your feet over, your left foot over a little bit, which is a little weird at first to get used to, but you are sitting on the front axle for sure. The transmission is buttery smooth. Second gear, first gear. I mean, this horse wants to get up and go for sure. But we're sitting here and the seats are actually very comfortable. Believe it or not, they're on the firm side because they're holding you in, but they're actually quite comfortable. Look, the dash makes perfect sense. This car has about 16,000 miles and it's showing its age so well, so beautiful, and you're still gonna get all those looks where people are like, hey, you're in a Ferrari. That's the amazing thing about this, and all that race heritage. All right, guys, we're driving down the road. Like I said, it's so easy to drive. I love feeling like I'm on that front axle, nice and low in the car, and I'm telling you, this transmission is unbelievable. Second gear, unbelievable. The speed, the acceleration, the sound, because that's what Ferrari is all about. Wow. Awesome experience. There's just nothing else like it. There really is nothing else like a Ferrari. Been in Porsches, been in Corvettes. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That sound, I can listen to that all day long. Great input from the steering wheel. Wow. Here we go. Yeah! On the brakes, downshift, nice. Wow. Unbelievable, the feedback. The sound. This is what being a car enthusiast is all about. Do you need this car? No. But do you want this car? Yes. And the fact, like I said, that it drives, you're so connected to it. I mean, I feel like my frontal lobe is attached to the front wheels. You feel everything. It's so amazing. Wow. Unbelievable. Great feedback coming to the front wheels, even over the rough stuff. I mean, you feel the bumps, but it's really not as bad as you think. Wow. I'm just so glad to be able to share this experience with you, really. This makes it extra special. All right, guys, little acceleration test. The transmission just, when it hits you like a ton of bricks, man. It whips you as you're going through the gears. Back on throttle, here we go. On the brakes, downshift, the sounds, the feeling. Wow, look at this. On the brakes. The mid-engine is so balanced, the chassis is so balanced. You know why exactly Chevrolet went to a mid-engine on a Corvette. Ferrari's been doing it for years. And what's interesting is Ferrari was actually against it. I need to pull over here because I need to take a breather. This car is just so intoxicating. The sounds, the input, the feeling, the history, it's all wrapped up into one. You're driving a legend. You're not just driving, you're driving an actual legend. It's unbelievable. So smooth. There we go. On the brakes. Great sound. The sounds are just unbelievable in here. You saw the look on my face. You just feel like you're part of a car like no other car, really. Especially having the top down. This makes me think about Formula One and all the history with Ferrari and Formula One and everything. It's just very, very special car. Very special moment for me. So glad to share with you. I hope that this has been special, but unfortunately, like all other good things, they sometimes must come to an end, and we need to get back to Reeves because I'm sure they're wondering where their Ferrari is at. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, what can I say? It's one of those special moments where I wake up in the morning and I say, thank God I created this channel, and thank God I have you to watch and share all the passion, the enjoyment, this Ferrari F430, so much heritage, all wrapped up into one package. To take you on the drive, to be able to drive such an automobile like this has been truly an honor. And there's really nothing else like it. There may be cars faster, there may be cars that are cheaper, more expensive, whatever, I don't care. This Ferrari F430 checks off so many boxes and really is the car that's always gonna be something that people want, something that as you're driving on the road, people say Ferrari, and that's what really means something extra special. But if it's cars like these you want to keep seeing on the channel, and I hope it is, because I want to bring them. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Ladies Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee. He wants to go out and get a big bowl of pasta to celebrate this video. I totally agree. Let's go get it, Tom. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.